Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on November 9th for the second part of Dragon Quest Die. And this week, joining me to discuss it is Sketch. So you can say hello, Sketch.
Hello, everybody.
So, part two of Dragon Quest Die. This is basically expected, from what we were going to be getting from JP, although, of course, also as almost expected at this point, we're only getting about half of the content. So, exciting. So, are you excited for these units, Sketch? Are you like one of the many Dragon Quest Die fans?
To be honest with you, not like super overly. I will say one thing about these units as opposed to last week's is I do like one of the sprites. But unfortunately it's just not the it's not the most hype of collabs for me because we have like all kinds of different Dragon Quest collabs like all the time, right? Or at
Mm-hmm.
least JP does.
Oh, yeah.
Also for Die, um, it's not really something that we have stuff for in global, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the actual game. So that
Yeah.
part's also a little off for me. But I think they did do a good job on like the sprites like last week's. I actually like um, Raven's like has a cool thing that he actually does that I actually knew about. So that was pretty cool. As opposed to like sometimes when we get collabs and I just don't know anything about the characters.
So which one?
Uh,
Which one of these? You said one of the sprites is really good. I'm assuming it's True Dark King Vearn.
yes.
Yes, his sprite is
Uh,
really awesome. I really love his sprite.
um, I know a lot of people were probably like, ah, well, Sketch just likes Leona, right? Like, no, that's just generic stuff. Bjorn's sprite is really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I think that not only do I like the flames on the base berry sprite, but as you'll see later, he has a BS form. And I think the quality on that sprite also looks good because I've seen what it looks like in game on the JP version. So I just think that that sprite's really cool. So if he's good enough, if we go over him and he's good enough to getting like that would be a cool off banner thing for me just because I like the sprite. But I mean, we'll just see when we get there.
Well, I will say, as kind of like a spoiler for the next 5 minutes, he is actually probably, in my opinion, by far the best one of this batch is True Dark King Bjorn. But as far as the banner setup, it's the exact same as we currently have for the part one. It's the to do the step up, you get the 1 and 3. You either get lucky or you don't, and then the follow up is etc. Or it seems like a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are getting these units from the free daily summon pulls, the video pulls. Have you gotten either any reds at all or any Dragon Quest units from the daily video summons?
So unfortunately, I'm one of those people that have gotten zero MVs from the either the
Oh.
the daily fives and zero from the videos. However, I'm not overly allowed to complain because I did get Avon from the 15.
Oh, very nice, very nice. The weekly 15, you mean? That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
me, I've actually gotten two reds from the video summons. Unfortunately, they were both underwhelming. They were not Dragon Quest units, and I've gotten one red from the daily 5, and it was actually Void Mage Roka, which is I already had her, but closer to EX3, so that's really nice. It was a nice pull for free.
Oh yeah, like no, I would love Roka. Roka's actually like near the top of the things that like if I get off banner. Now, not that I'm gonna complain about Avon, because like Avon is he has my favorite kit of all the Dragon Quest units of the ones that I know of. And I also didn't have Vanille, so
Mm.
having Avon for things like Vision World and Dark Visions is just, like is a big deal, right? Like it's a good unit. I will say one thing that's really weird, and you kind of like talked about this some, is seems like there's an increased rate for the Dragon Quest units, or at least feels like it from people getting them from videos. I was gonna actually ask you about that. It's like think that's intentional? Because
Um,
like I don't remember seeing anything about that, but man, it seems like there's so many people getting those.
yes, and I mentioned that as well, and someone told me. I did not confirm if this is really the case. I'm just going by what I was told. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. What he told me in Discord was it's a 5% Neo rate, and it's a zero point 0.5 per Dragon Quest unit, meaning 5% Neo, and 1.5 of that 5 is Dragon Quest. So when the rest of it is split between 200 Neos, the rates are going to seem really high for them to be banners because, what's the ratio? 3 out of 10 are going to be a Dragon Quest unit. So that's why it probably seems pretty high. And that seems really generous to me. And like I said, it seems like every single day at reset, 2 or 3 people are like, I got a Dragon Quest unit for free from the video summons. I'm like, wow, where's mine?
Yeah, that's super high actually. I'm like, wow, that is very generous. Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
for real, for real. But about these units this week, so Twin Dragon Crest Die is getting global upgrades. Now, the only one previewed is his leader skill, which is being raised from 500 to 600 for the Universal Lightning category. And then for Die specifically, it's still 750. He might have more upgrades in his kit. For example, Avon had the same kind of preview in the news where they previewed the leader skill, but then it ended up he had, well, technically more upgrades, but I mean, to be fair, they're kind of sort of irrelevant. But he did get more upgrades. But yeah, so Die, honestly, I mean, he's decent, but he's really, I would say, in an awkward position because he's a lightning element unit and he doesn't fit on the primary lightning party, which would be the Rebellion party with Wondrous Flash Lightning, because he is not a Rebellion unit. So where would he really fit other than going on to like a Dragon Quest Die party? I don't know. So what are your thoughts on this unit being kind of in an awkward situation?
I Okay, so it's not a big deal for Even because like how like breakers and stuff work in Clash of Wills, but they did give him like clash tags, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was just like a neat throw in. Like it's not like a huge deal, but like it will make some people happy, right? I don't understand. Like I hope, and they probably won't because they didn't do the other ones, but I would just put all these on the Clash of Wills stuff, right? Like collabs don't come back that often. You're not gonna break anything, especially if you're not giving them Clash of Wills like generic Clash of Wills skills, right? Like you could just give them like they did with Abe and be like, all right, here's like some random morale ability that doesn't matter too much, and
Oh,
rats, you're on there. Like
you know,
that would. Sorry.
I was going to say that just made me realize. You know what? Because, like you say, they did do that for Avon. They gave him the Clash of Wills Wind category. If they give Die Clash of Wills Lightning category, that means he will qualify for Lightning's leader skill at
Mhm.
750 on the primary Lightning party, and that would actually be a huge upgrade and make him so much less awkward. So yeah, if they do give him, now why don't they preview that in the news? That is the kind of thing you want the players to get excited about. That should be in the news, is showing you the upgraded categories if they exist, and they didn't show it for Avon. So
Mhm.
yeah, that could potentially, this
Ooh.
could turn it all around for Die.
Yeah. No. Like I was thinking about this. It's like I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. Because in my personal opinion, like all that does is make you more money, right? Like
Hmm.
for from a company's perspective, it's just like, hey, Dai is the main character, right? Let's make Dai like this super huge premium unit that like you want to pull for, right? Like even as long as they don't like they don't give him uh like a ton of like Clash of Wills mods and stuff like that, it would be totally fine for them to just make him on the leader skill, right? It's not gonna super break the game. He's not gonna be 3 times the damage of Genesis or anything like that. Like it would just be really cool and it would make you want to put, like you said, like he doesn't like overly have a team. What if they just fix that for free, right? Just give him a morale, like 1K per turn or whatever, like they did with Avon, and be like, congrats, he's on Lightning's team.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a
Yeah.
team. Like that'd be such a cool thing. That also gives me an idea though for something when we get down later
Okay. Well,
on the unit list.
all right. So that's basically kind of, for the most part, all there is to say about Dai. He's a damage dealer. I mean, he deals good damage, but that's like, all he's doing, and it's
Yeah.
fine. But he's not. Before any potential further upgrades, based on the JP version, he's good damage, but I wouldn't say he's at the absolute top. He's just good.
Mhm.
Kind of like, between like Lahart and him or whatever from last week.
Yeah.
And then for Leona, here we get, you can hate me for this, but the dud of the banner is Leona. She's just not. I stand by it. I say she's not good. I really do. And she's not getting upgrades or anything either, so nothing. They're just like, we can't save her, forget it. And they ship her. So, yeah.
Yeah. I did a little bit of research on these units, just to like a decent idea. Am I wrong that she's the one that needed buffs the most out of these three?
Oh, by far.
Like,
Out of all
she
six, she needed
is
the most buffs. Out of the whole batch, she needed them.
she is kind of awkward, and like even when you look at her STMR and TMR, I'm like, man, this is just not selling it for me.
Yeah. Like, really, all she does is 30% amplify fields, and that's like it. And, she does 5 different elements, but they're all at such a low quality, and she does, like, nothing herself. She's so just confused and does nothing, and I don't understand. Exactly like you say, of the whole Dragon Quest batch, all 6 units, she needed by far the most help, and she's getting nothing at all. Nothing. Yeah. It just seems like, at some point, the developers just say, like, this unit is so far beyond saving, it's just not worth our time at all. And they just, yeah. Honestly speaking, I'm being serious here, I would have rather them to just cut her entirely like they did for Maria. Because Maria, like 2 weeks ago, was another unit that was just like so bad, you almost can't save the unit without a complete redesign. And Leona was the same way. She really should have just been cut entirely and not troll the polls. But, of course, as I've definitely heard already, she's like a favorite from the anime or something. So that'd probably get people really upset. No one really cares about Maria. They can cut her. But I guess they just couldn't cut Leona. So, yeah, she might be trolling some polls next week.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like, I'm normally, like, you know me, I'm normally a pretty positive person, like even more than most people, like when it comes to units in this game, and this is like Kier like level of confusing. Like this is worse than Kier. Like I'm just kind of like, what's going on here? Like, why couldn't you just buff her? There's so many things. Like, even if I understand that she does a lot of elements, and you are not breaking the game if those fields go up to like 40% or something like that.
50. They should
Like,
be 50. And even then, it's still hard to justify the party slot. Like, how often do we bring Garnet to a serious party? Like, 50 fields still are not enough to justify a party slot most of the time. You need more than that. And, like, even that still probably wouldn't be enough to fix her. But, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to be nice. I agree. I think if we're like just like looking at her kit, if she had 50 fields, all right, like just follow me for a minute. If she has 50 fields, okay, and they added better killers than she has in her kit, because I'm just gonna be honest with you, double 100, like, if it doesn't change, double 160%, double 160% killers on a collab unit is not it. This is
Mm-hmm.
a limited time unit. Like, if those were maybe 200 and there was more than 2 of them, sure. Plus the 50% feels. I mean, I want both.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm trying to make this unit good, and it's just
Like let's just for a second compare to now. I realize she's premium, but she's like a year and a half old. Let's compare her to Dark Fina. So Dark Fina is doing a 40 field, a 400 stat buff, a 300 LB buff, 100 single target amplifies, 250 AoE killer, and she can fill your LB every 3 turns well, not on demand. Every 3 turns, you can fill your LB gauge. She's also doing Human Killer and Fairy Killer on top of the 250 Demon. Like, she's doing all of this. And Leona is like, well, I've got a 30% field and it ends right there. Like, oh, come on. Okay, this unit is so bad. She can't be saved. The developers realize she can't be saved. So, yeah. If you pull her, I feel bad for you. Unfortunate. That means I will probably get her next week from a video summon, and then I'll feel just really bad. But it's true. It's true. But then we get to the one who is going to be, anyone that pulls him should be pretty happy, and that would be true Dark King Vearn. And let me tell you right now, his name is a lie. He has nothing to do with the dark. He is a fire unit, and a really good fire unit. But yes, I realize the true Dark King is probably like lore related. And he's getting
so.
global. Oh, go ahead.
No, continue. Sorry.
I was going to say he's getting a global upgrade as well, but his is not for the leader skill, as we can see right here. And the kind of hilarious thing right here is his global upgrade is a complete mystery because they are literally not showing anything in the news other than he is being upgraded. This is what I'm talking about. Kind of like a breakdown of the news is like this is you shouldn't do this. Like, we're upgrading you, but we're not going to tell you anything about it in the news. What is the point of this? But yeah. So the unit is a fire unit, and his leader skill is basically the same as Rain's almost, but it's 750 for die, so for himself 750, and it is not getting upgraded to 600 like the previous two. And why is that, Sketch?
It's because Genesis is so strong.
Yes, Genesis is holding back our 600 fire leader skill because Genesis is already overpowered even without any leader skill. You will still see Genesis on parties like a pure dark party where Genesis has no leader skill. He can still join that party and deal crazy high damage. And yeah, so because of that, that's kind of the obvious reason why they're not upgrading his fire leader skill like the previous two got upgraded.
So, you got me a little excited earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if his global upgrade is he has Clash Will tags?
That I definitely do believe that is absolutely going to be what his upgrade is going to be. Is I think it'll be the exact same thing as Avon, where they're going to add him to Clash of Wills Fire. They'll probably add in like some auto morale per turn. They're probably not going to upgrade his damage. I could be wrong here, but his damage doesn't need an upgrade. It's fine. It's not like, again, it's not Genesis tier, but it's still up there. And yeah, so that means he's going to be able to go onto either Roka's party because the fire. Potentially, he might get a 750 from Locke if Locke gets Clash of Wills Fire, which I mean he should, but that's not known yet. But yeah, that can give him a really good lifespan going forward on like the fire parties because he does decent damage. His LB is triple bolting strike, which is relatively easy to chain and fit into your party. It's not like Extreme Nova, which can be a little awkward to fit into some parties. And he's not like a one hitter, which can be hard to get the chain count score if the whole party is one hitters. But yeah, that's all he does really is just damage. But it's good damage, and it's a good element. It is a really good element, probably one of the best elements for a long time, and still going forward is going to be very strong. It's going to get a whole nother resurgence yet again with Locke in the future. So.
Oh, yeah. Like, also, like, no offense to other people, the sprite's really cool to me. Like, if you're gonna give me a reason to, like, want to try to pull for this unit, and, like, you want to put him in Clash of Wills, like, fire is already my favorite element. Like, I'm a huge Genesis fanboy. Like, he's my favorite Final Fantasy villain. But, like, I'm spoiled on global where he's OP, right? Like, I'm not tired of using Genesis. Genesis can be good enough for the next 2 years. I just don't care. I'm just gonna keep using him. I'm like not gonna get bored with him. But like, I thought this unit's like design was really like cool, like the sprite. So like the fact that he's fire, which is really funny with the name still. But the fact that he might get upgraded to Clash of Wills for fire teams would be really cool. Another reason I think they didn't upgrade the leader skill is I actually think they're saving the 600% fire for Locke.
Probably. Very, very likely.
Like, because he's just a premium and that'll help sell him, and like they have been pushing like fire like so hard. Like I'm really happy we got her. But the fact that Irea is fire and like one of the best units in the game isn't helping the case that fire is already super overpowered as an element. Did you say he had the same frames as Aya? Like,
no.
No. Okay.
Aya's LB is Extreme Nova. His is
Nova.
Bolting Strike. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been really cool. I mean, like, it's not like Bolting Strike's bad or anything, right? But like, oh, that would have been really cool because I'm a huge Aya fan. That's one of the coolest things the entire game has ever done. The fact that they did actually go back and do that collab. So, like, on this collab, it's really cool that you get like these unknown upgrades, right? It's like they're not gonna tell us. We can just tell us what they are. It's not gonna hurt anything.
Oh,
like
I know.
Hope it's just an accident and they fix it. Yeah.
I know. And also, just a little side note is we do know from the monthly bulletin we got a few days ago that the next Clash of Wills is going to be, what is it, fire? It's 4 elements. It's fire, ice, water, and light by memory. But the two new ones are fire and ice. So that gives you a insight into what it's going to be. So fire is very likely because Locke is coming, and it seems to be tailored to the newest JP premium leader. So Locke for fire, but ice is kind of like a strange addition. And also we do know that 3 weeks ago they upgraded Roos's leader skill to 600 water, and they did not upgrade Yisha's ice leader skill to 600 ice, meaning they probably have a different idea in the works for that. So we will have to see.
So Tin Hat theory for that, right? Might as well touch on it since we're here. I think there's a chance that Locke has a sub-ice leader skill because of Celeste, and it would be thematic, like to give him the ice like Clash of Wills. So like it may just be like a throw-in on that, but we'll see when we get there.
We'll see. And then as far as vision cards go, they're not special. It's they're generic series vision cards. They're decent for Dragon Quest Die. They're not as good as the 170s, but there you go. They're kind of whatever. And then the event. The event Checkmate is a farming event. Literally, nothing to say. It's a farming event. Hopefully you've got your EX3 Crocodines set for your friends to farm this. Yeah. And then what we don't have is the crown stages. We don't have the crown stages. We don't have the upgrades for the units. Pop and Vearn were supposed to be upgraded with crowns this week from the older units, and they're missing. So, yeah, we're skipping more unit upgrades. So did they give us a single upgrade for any of the Dragon Quest units this event? I don't think so, did they? No, I realized they did the transfer of the stats from the materia to the units, and that's kind of an upgrade, but that's not really what I'm talking about, because all these units got actual real upgrades in JP, like modifier buffs, 150 amplifies, all that kind of stuff, 2,000 flat stats, stuff like that, and none of that got added at all this whole event, did it?
No, I was actually going to ask you, was there a week 3 for this? Because I was like, man, I remember there being like a lot of upgrades. Where are they at? And why would you skip collab upgrades? That's the weirdest thing to me, right? Like, you want people to get excited and like be nostalgic and like pull for stuff on your collabs, right? Collab upgrade skipping it's really bizarre to me.
And that's kind of sort of why I'm a little less like wanting to pull. Like, I really considered going for Avon last week, or this current week, I guess, but it's just like, you know, when these units will eventually get upgraded in JP, because you already know they will, Global's going to skip them again, like they're currently doing. So, like, people that pulled for the old Die or Vearn, etc., they were supposed to get, like, a second life with their upgrades, and Global is skipping them. So, like, why would I pull for these? You know, meaning they're going to have a very short lifespan. I do think King Vearn is going to be better long term, just because Fire is so freaking good. But like the rest of these, like for example, Twin Dragon Quest Die. Like if you get him right now, technically he's a good unit. But he's going to fall off so quickly. Like so quickly, he's going to just fall off completely, and you'll just never see him again. And then in JP, JP always upgrades usually upgrades their collab units the next time it runs. It's Dragon Quest. It's come back twice a year for 8 years. It's going to come back again. So when he gets his upgrades, and then it's time for on Global's going to skip him. So Die is going to stay dead forever and ever if you pull for him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man, now I'm just thinking about Leona without upgrades later. It's just like, hey, you still want to pull for this in 2024, 2025? Like, oof.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so we're not getting all the rest of the crowns. A lot of people were saying last week when we skipped the crowns for the other Die guy, and I forgot who, the other Hyunkel and all, they were saying, oh, maybe there's delay till the second week. Well, apparently not, and apparently the other ones are being skipped as well. So yeah. And then this. So yet another Lapis replica shop. This time a third version. Season Celebration Lapis replica. We're going to start getting these from login rewards, and the shop for this opens on the 22nd. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, free stuff is great. I love free stuff, but I still feel like this is just confusing. When like a new player says, "What do I spend my Lapis replica on?" People are like, "Which one do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, the second one." Oh, I mean, there's so many, and they're all named the same thing. It's really just confusing, and they should change it. I don't know. But yeah. Like, what is just real quick, like, what is the point of them being segregated anyway? Why didn't they just have one currency that they just keep adding to? Why are they splitting it into 3 different types? Like, I don't get it. Why didn't they just keep adding new stuff to the existing store and keep restocking that store instead of making 3 different stores? I mean, I just don't get the point of this.
I was about to ask you that, so that saves me time. This is like, what's the point of all of these being different? Like, just update the store. Like, if you have to, just make things, like, if you absolutely have to, just make things in the store limited. Like, you can only get this through X amount of time.
They already are.
Work, right?
They already are. That's the crazy thing. Everything in the store is already limited, except for, like, Guild Turtles. Like, it already has the built-in limits, so it's nonsensical. Completely nonsensical that it has to be segregated to 3 different stores. I don't know.
I've had people ask me, is this a permanent edition? It's just like, I don't know at this point. They just keep doing this, like, we're gonna be like, this is Lapis Replica 45. Was that the good one? I don't know, man. Like,
it's crazy. But we're getting more of it. And that's kind of it for the current week as far as new news. And then the last thing I guess we can go over is the whole incorrect mail issue, which happened last week. I forgot what day. I think it was Friday, maybe. I forget. But yeah, so they said they were going to give us further updates, etc. And I'm just saying that we currently have no new information about what's being done. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? I'm sure you saw the whole thing where some players were mailed, or all players that were online at a specific period of time were mailed out 20,000 Lapis, etc., etc., etc. And then they took it out of your mailbox if you didn't claim it in time. But at the current time, anyone who claimed it still has it. They've been spending it. They've been enjoying their pulls, their units, etc. They're saying they're going to try to remove it. So yeah. So just real quick, give me your quick feedback and thoughts on this whole situation. What do you think they should do?
All right, so this is gonna be a little soapboxy. I'll try not to keep it super long. I have had a lot of people ask me about my opinion on this kind of stuff because I'm like in a bunch of active in like a bunch of the groups. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate that they don't take enough time or don't have enough people on staff to prevent things like this happening because they not only hurt the players long term, but they hurt themselves, right? And like we want the game to succeed because we enjoy playing the game, right? But it's like they shot themselves in the foot because they put themselves in a situation where people are going to be upset one way or another, right? Like you have a bunch of ways that you can handle this. Which, by the way, some of the ideas that I've heard from people about how they should fix this are absolutely crazy.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So I personally made a video about this, and I kind of like laid out what I feel like the only three realistic options would be, which would be to either take it away from the players that got it, do nothing at all, or give everyone the same amount. That was my like three big options of what to do. So what are some of the crazy suggestions people are saying?
So there are people that got the compensation that want everybody to get it, and then they want an additional compensation.
Oh, they want like a fourth and a fifth copy. Oh my god.
So basically they're saying that like, hey, I was there, I got that. But you also have to comp everybody. But I also deserve that comp too. And I'm like,
I mean,
so I've heard that. I've also heard that if they already spent the compensation, that it should be refunded the compensation, and it not be an additional compensation. But basically, they get what they spent back because they weren't supposed to spend it. So they're saying if they pulled bad with their compensation, that it was rigged. So they deserve the compensation back. So basically, everybody that spent it already was like, I got all this free stuff. And they pulled bad because not everybody pulls well, right?
oh jeez.
They want that back as well. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
that's probably not going to happen. So, but I really hope though they give us like an update of what's going on because I'm just wanting to know. I mean, I guess technically I'm not directly affected, at least not directly affected because I didn't get it. So therefore, any kind of if they do go the removal route, like it's not going to really affect me. But I still just mostly for curiosity, just want to know what's going on. Also, it is really unfair. Obviously, a lot of people got enormous amounts of stuff, and not everyone did. That's just unfair as well. So, yeah, I still really hope they go the route of make it fair for everyone, which is to give everyone the same thing. That's what I really hope they do. They might not, but I still am absolutely in the camp of make it fair for everyone, give everyone the exact same thing, and just move along.
I fully agree. Do you know what happened in like something? You know, something like this happened in War of the Visions, correct?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I wasn't playing at the time, but yeah. So apparently in War of the Visions, something similar happened. They mailed out like no, they actually it wasn't mailed out. It was like something like people did the play a different game thing and get Lapis, but they gave like way too much as a reward, and they took it away and put players in the negatives, right?
Yeah. So I was playing during the period of time, so I know exactly what that went on.
Okay.
So they have the offer wall, like kind of like how we have like videos and stuff in our game that we can watch, like the mini Lapis builds, but they have like major amounts, right? And by that I mean like if you do this over the course of a year, like you could get an actual like large amount of Lapis. And the offer wall was messed up to the point where you could get over an entire year's worth of offer wall stuff in like 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
So people were getting like, hey, here's 50,000 Lapis in like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And that was obviously not okay because how those things work, they have to actually get the money from the company that covers the Lapis, right? Like it's their partnership. That's why they're able to do it, right? And yeah. So basically everybody got like 50k plus Lapis for free, which is even more than they got here. And took that down really fast. But then they went back in and they announced an oddly long maintenance, like 14 plus hours, right? Which ended up actually being turned into like 3 maintenances. Because they went in and took everything out. They didn't want to compensate everybody because that's just like way too much, right? That's costing the company like millions of dollars at that point. Like if you gave everybody 50k Lapis plus big tickets, this is like it's just not doable for the bottom line, right? Like that can kill a game because like but for obvious reasons. But yeah, so they actually went back in and like took everything back.
So
I don't know if they're going to be willing to do that on FFB, to be honest with you, though.
yeah, but the thing is, though, so I definitely get that, and I see that. And if someone got 20,000 Lapis in Brave Exvius, and then they pulled for it, and then they in Brave Exvius they go and set your Lapis to negative 20,000 to pay it back, whatever. I get that. I don't think that's the right route to go, but at least it makes sense. It's a logical option. It's kind of like I don't want to call it a greedy option because whatever. It makes sense at the very least. You spent it, therefore you pay for it. I get that. How do they do it for everything else though? Because for example, they also gave you, remember these segregated shops? They gave you 30,000 fake Lapis for the other shop, which is no longer being restocked. So someone that spent 30,000 in the shop and bought the tickets and all or whatever, if they go and set you to negative 30,000 original fake Lapis, who gives a damn? The shop is extinct. Like that doesn't do anything. You see what I'm saying? So that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem here. Because in War of the Visions, it was, if I'm correct, it was just Lapis, right? It wasn't Lapis plus awakening materials and whatever else War of the Visions uses, right? It was just Lapis. Yes,
that's what I was getting at. I do not expect them to do that because of how convoluted. Like this is how you lead to like the game being in maintenance for like a week, right? Well, I mean, we'll think about it like you said with all the different materials and stuff like that. Like it took War of the Visions 3 separate 10+ hour maintenances just to do Lapis. What? What in the hell do you do about all of these like different materials? God forbid tickets. Tickets are probably like an actual pain because if you get units that aren't your original copy and they get fed into another copy, how do you not mess up the data on their like original copy? You can't take that from them, right?
Exactly.
That's not
The
allowed.
whole
So,
thing
like,
is. Yeah, that's why I really hope they just go the simple, easy route. Send it to everyone. Easy. Done.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
That's still going to take a while, by the way. I hope people understand that. When they do get around to fixing this, that is not something they're going to, like, do in 5 seconds. Because unlike before where they may have, like, just, like, kind of, like, went over accounts and, like, sometimes, like, on very rare occasions, like, people got compensation they weren't supposed to, like, the original time, right? Like that may happen like a couple of times. They have to be super careful this time and like actually go over every account, because if they end up sending the compensation to anybody in additional time, they've gotten nowhere, right? So they have to be careful and go through every single individual account. Did they get the compensation? Did they claim their mail during this period of time? See if it's there. Like it is just. I hope it's fixed. I'm very upset that we don't have any information on it.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, like at the worst case scenario, by the end of maintenance this Thursday, we know what's going on. But yeah, so that's basically, we talked for quite a while for basically 2 slides of news, 2 realistic newses for the week. But yeah, so thanks again for joining me, Sketch, and going over all the Dragon Quest stuff.
Yeah, no problem. I hope that people enjoy the collab. I think Vearn looks cool. I'm excited to see what Vearn's upgrades are.
I really hope that I get him from video summons and I don't get Leona next week. So we'll see. See you guys next time.
Yeah.